Well, looks like everyone's outrage, including my own, was really all for nothing as WWE announces during the press conference that Cody Rhodes will go one-on-one with Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, I know, as I said, I got very, very angry over how WWE handled the situation with The Rock. After listening to the press conference, I watched the highlights for the Cody Rhodes part, because that was the part I was interested in. Though that Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley went face to face, kind of confirming their match at this point at WrestleMania. But anyway, Seth Rollins, he came out, he wanted Cody Rhodes to basically make his decision on what he's going to do at WrestleMania. Roman comes out, he ends up doing his usual spiel of telling people to acknowledge him. He says Cody Rhodes no longer can make the decision because he's taking too long to make the decision, and therefore he says that his opponent at WrestleMania will be The Rock. The Rock comes out, and the crowd reaction I needed to pay a little bit of attention to. There was a dueling "We want Cody, Cody sucks" chant. There was a dueling "Rocky sucks" and "Rocky" chant. There was a bit of a mix of cheers and boos for The Rock, but over time it gradually became more and more boos for The Rock. The Rock did his usual stuff. He talked about his family legacy. He talked about the massive bloodline tree. It's almost like WWE did a completely 180 on the whole Rock stuff, because The Rock said he wanted to sit at the head of the table, but now they've completely pulled a 180. Now, The Rock coming off as a heel in this situation does sound... It's a good move for The Rock because he knows that the fans don't want him. And who would have thought 20 years later we'd be getting a heel Rock? But The Rock more wants the match with Roman Reigns because it's a box office attraction. It'll be a box office attraction. That's the main reason he wants the match. He's basically sounding like a guy who's politicking his way in to get what he wants. Because as we all know, he is the board of directors. He's like head of the board of directors in TKO. So you kind of feel like he's trying to abuse his power to get the match with Roman and not have Cody Rhodes involved at all. Cody does eventually come out and he says this is bullshit. He says you guys don't have the right to make my own decisions. And he says that he respects The Rock. He says that he had discussions with The Rock. And he says, but he won the Royal Rumble and he has every right to make his decision. And he says that he is picking Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And then on like the big Titantron thing on the side, they had like pictures of The Rock and Roman. And then that eventually got changed to Cody Rhodes. So, this is becoming a whole family drama situation, and Roman talks about Dusty, as always. If there's one thing that I will say that I'm not a fan of when it comes to Cody Rhodes' rivalries, every single person has to bring up Dusty Rhodes. That is the only thing I will criticize WWE for. Like, can we go through a Cody Rhodes feud without anyone mentioning Dusty? Because I feel like every single Cody Rhodes feud at this point, someone has to bring up Dusty. Yes, Dusty is a very well respected legend in the wrestling business, and he is Cody Rhodes' father. I don't know about you, but I feel like it's getting a bit forced now. Oh, Dusty this, Dusty that. Like, can we chill out with this now? Can we chill out with this, please? Like, I don't want to use that word forced, but it really does feel forced. Like, oh, it's forced sympathy, it's forced heat, it's cheap heat to get people to rally behind Cody. Can we actually rally behind Cody without bringing up Dusty? Like, the early parts was fine. Bringing up Dusty during the early portions was fine, but it feels like every single feud Cody has, they bring up Dusty Rhodes, and I feel like they need to cool it. Cody brings up High Chief Peter Maivia and even one of Roman's relatives, and he says that they would be disappointed in Roman Reigns. And this triggers The Rock. This makes The Rock angry. This makes The Rock angry. He says, he says, how dare you talk about my family? He says, if you insult his family, you're insulting my family. You talk bad about his blood, you're talking bad about my blood. And then The Rock would then proceed to slap Cody Rhodes in the face, and a sort of a brawl kind of breaks out, like Cody's was about to throw a punch at The Rock. But Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, Triple H and Seth Rollins all hold Cody back, and Seth Rollins is even furious at The Rock. And then they make it official, Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania, and The Rock is pissed off in the backstage area of the press conference, and he's telling Triple H, you better fix this. What does The Rock mean by this? Well, I guess the only explanation that I can think of, as much as I don't want to see it happen, it doesn't feel like we're getting a triple threat. Which, I'm glad we're not getting that. The one thing I will say is that I am not really thrilled about the idea of Roman wrestling twice at WrestleMania. I feel like that's the one thing I'm not really all that thrilled about, because it feels like they're gonna have Roman wrestle twice. They're gonna have him wrestle The Rock, possibly on night 1, and then he'll wrestle Cody on night 2. So, I don't know about you, I'm not a fan of that. Just wait until next year. You can either do Rock versus Roman next year at WrestleMania 41, or you can do it at SummerSlam. There's no, I don't want any reason for The Rock to still have his match, but I feel the only way to still have that match and have Roman versus Cody happen, Roman would probably wrestle Rock on night 1, because I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Seth. The only thing that makes sense to me is Drew McIntyre. And you have Drew McIntyre maybe become the new world champion. And then you have Drew McIntyre hold on to the belt until CM Punk comes back, maybe. I think that's a shout. I would be okay. I think that would be something I'd be okay with. But other than that, yeah, that's really all what happened in the press conference. And yeah, we're getting Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania. And yes, I did get a bit fiery about the idea of us getting The Rock versus Roman. But hey, we all got suckered into thinking that WWE were making a big mistake. So we'll see where they go from here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Give me your thoughts down below. And I'll see you all next time.